All guitars featured on this channel were legally available for purchase from many online legal platforms and are covered under the Lanham Act. The Lanham Act, specifically outlined in 1709 Joint Statement, Parts C and D, defines the term trafficking under subsections 2320D. The scope of the act is limited to commercial activities and is not considered a crime under this act for any individual to knowingly purchase goods bearing counterfeit marks if the purchase is for personal use. Under this legal interpretation of the Lanham Act, non-commercial uses of a trademark, no matter how confusing, do not amount to infringement. This is because non-commercial use refers to use that consists entirely of non-commercial or fully constitutionally protected speech. This video and its contents are in no way associated with the EVH, Gibson, Fender, Kramer brands or any other brands or their representatives. These videos can depict authentic unboxing experiences of guitars legally purchased from AliExpress, eBay, Facebook ads, as well as YouTube ads. All usage falls under fair use and news reporting. Any attempt to assume control or violate this dissemination of content will be considered a direct violation of the United States First Amendment. This information is protected accordingly. Any attempt to stop or remove any form of media reporting could be viewed as a crime. This video falls under fair use and all information therein is protective. This information is usable as media. This video was created for news, media, and comedic fair use with the intention of informing the public about various guitar products. Viewer discretion is advised, and Fulton Street Beats disclaims any liability related to decisions regarding replica guitars. Potential buyers are urged to conduct thorough research, consider personal preferences and budget constraints, and comply with local, state, and federal legalities before making any purchasing decisions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats and welcome to the first Chinese custom guitar build-off. That's right, I have put together a group of 3 builders that are going to be competing for best Chinese custom guitar build. That is right. Now, these are not necessarily Chibson guitars or to be considered a Chibson guitar. We're going to have to wait till the end to see that before we unveil any logos on headstocks or anything like that. But what I will tell you is these are custom guitars, okay, by luthiers in China. And I've picked three of these. One I have worked with already. 2 I haven't. One is already very, very popular and has been building custom guitars for over 16 years. And it's going to be a really interesting shootout. So what we have today is a custom guitar that arrived, and we're going to go over this guitar. I'm going to tell you probably more about this than I should right now. But we're going to go over it. We're going to dive into it and see the quality of the guitar. Let's take a look at it at the price point that it comes in at. Now, this guitar that we're about to look at is right around the $300 mark. So keep that in mind. That is shipped and delivered. So wait time for me on this guitar was less than 10 days, and it was a supposed custom build. I'm not sure if that is entirely true, and as we get into this, you'll know what I'm talking about. But before we do that, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe if you're really interested to see these builders compete. So this is guitar number 1 of 3 today. Stay right there, and we'll get over to the bench and take a look at this thing. Okay, here we go. This is the SG Custom Tuxedo version by Hu Yangshu Dawn, and I'll leave a link to them below. Now, like I said, we're not going to show you the logos on this guitar today, but we're going to go over this guitar and the details. Now, this isn't pretty much out of the box. Full disclosure, I did change these knobs simply because I wanted to see if they would fit, and I didn't want to pull them back off. It does come with very decent knobs. I'll actually show you the type right here. This is the type of knobs that actually come on it. I just decided to change them to the vintage style, and I kind of wish I didn't, so I could have shown you what they were on it, but they fit on very snugly, and I just don't feel like pulling them off on this black finish. So you get what you get, you don't throw a fit. But here is the guitar, and right away you all notice it is a beautiful tuxedo look. And, well, the pick guard is cut properly, but not properly, and now let me elaborate on that. So, of course, we're looking at the horns on this. A lot of people, so this is like an SG modern style cut on the horns. Not a deep cut like a 61 would be, but it's more of a modern look. The pickups are spaced correctly for a Gibson style pick guard, although it's really not going to work because you'd have holes showing because of the big dip down in here. That's something that I wish we could get right on a guitar. Now, I requested things on this guitar. So each guitar that's coming, I requested certain things. And we'll get to that and see if these custom builders met my specifications. Now, the one thing I did request, and I should have been more specific, was a white pick guard. But this is a single ply pick guard. And in my opinion, I don't have a problem with the shape of the pick guard. But I would definitely have loved to have seen the black in the middle, at least a 3-ply. That would have been fantastic. Switch placement is a little bit better than you see on most. It's more towards the outer edge. So that's good. It is a beautiful looking guitar. And there's not a blemish in this paint anywhere on this guitar. If you see anything, it is fingerprints and nothing more. And I will tell you, I don't know if the camera really shows it, but the body thickness of this guitar is right on par with the actual Gibson, and also the weight. I'll put a photo of the weight here that I took hanging on the scales. And I believe, let's see, well, I think I got it right here. It was 6.70 pounds. The dimensions at its thickest point on this guitar, the body, is 1 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, 35.1 millimeters. And that's pretty close to what an actual SG is. Most of these replicas that come are quite a bit thicker. And that's where you're getting your weight. That's why the weight is more on par. Now, your cut is still, the bevel is still a touch different than you would find on an actual SG, but it captures the essence, and it does a really, really good job. 61 style feel neck, I would say. But let's start out with this on the list for this guitar before we really dive into it. We're talking about communication with Hu Yangshu Dawn. They seem like really good people. There is a big communication barrier, and I think that is what kind of made things not exactly what I wanted on this guitar. On the back of this guitar, on the back of the headstock, and you can see I have this covered now, but we have the Grover style rotomatics on here. They're actually nicely done. It's got a good font. Of course, they're probably not real, and we can probably pretty much guarantee it. But I'm not going to show you the what they did on the back, but I requested that it say Angus instead of a serial number. That wasn't done. I requested that it have the ABR pin style bridge. That wasn't done, and I also requested fret nibs, and that wasn't done. Now, that being said, the frets themselves are simply amazing. It's got an amazing fret job on it, a really nice fretboard, and it's set up very, very, very well. And the action on this thing, I forget what it is now. I'll put a video here above me showing the action. It is below millimeter at the 12th on each one, and there's no buzz. I mean, this is probably the lowest action that I've seen come from a factory. And the frets are done properly. They're leveled. There's no buzz. There's no nothing. It is a fantastic playing guitar. But let's go down the list. So communication, I'm going to have to give them a 3-star out of 5 for communication, simply because things get lost in translation. And the responses are a little bit confusing, and it's not, there's a language barrier. So keep that in mind. I don't believe it's intentional. I think the look of the guitar, we'll get to that in a second, is exceptional. I don't think you'd go wrong buying from them, but just be prepared for a communication barrier there. Shipping time. Now, this is supposed to have been a custom build, and this is where I really question this, because I didn't get my pins that I asked for, and I didn't get the get the bound frets, and I didn't get my Angus logo on the back of the headstock. But I did get my white full pick guard and gold hardware, and it is set up really, really good. So shipping time was less than 10 days for this guitar. So I am guessing, and I did receive pictures of the guitar apart, and there was a lot of scratches in this guitar. So it may have been a custom build, and then they just had it ready to go and buffed it and put this on. And that's what I'm thinking that was done. Not necessarily a full-on custom build, but they took a black guitar that wasn't finished, and what I'm guessing, and put this pick guard on it. So, yeah, we'll give it a 3 for communication. We're going to give him a 5-star out of 5 for shipping time. It did come really quick. General appearance. Now, general appearance, quick glance. Guitar looks fantastic, front and back. No complaints there. We're going to give him a 4-star on that, and that's because of the things that are missing. So I got to deduct a star for the things that are missing on the guitar. And honestly, I have to deduct because the screw placement and the pick guard, if you want to change this pick guard, well, you're going to have one custom cut, even in this own style, because the holes are not properly spaced for an aftermarket pick guard to line up. So, general appearance, give it a 4 out of 5, just so you know. And we'll get to electronics in a little bit, but the hardware, we're giving it a 3 on the hardware. Simply, it's not right. Beautiful gold hardware. I mean, it looks good. I have had the chance to play it. The tuners do hold. They respond well. I'm going to guess they're about a 1:18 ratio. They do work good. But once again, could have been better, just because it wasn't what I asked for. Okay, so fit and finish of the guitar itself, the overall fit and finish of the guitar is a 5-star. There's not a blemish on this guitar. The binding on the headstock is exquisite. The nut is cut properly. The pick guard is cut properly. The pickups are the right height. And this is a black guitar, so it's really hard to get a black guitar right. And if you're seeing anything on this guitar, you're seeing fingerprints. That is it. This guitar has no scratches. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful buff job. Fantastic, nice finish on this guitar. Can't rave enough about the finish. So fit and finish, definitely a 5-star. And is there any functionality quirks with this guitar? Functionality quirks? No, there's none. Everything is working the way it should. I've spent some time with it. Would have had this video up a while ago, but I wanted to spend a couple days with this guitar to make it. I didn't mess with anything. I haven't changed anything. I haven't changed the action, the setup. The only thing I did was tune this guitar up. I haven't even changed the strings. So what you see is what you get with this guitar, at least in my case. This is how it came out of the box, with exception of the knobs. And I do like these knobs better, the old school witch hat knobs, because they're really easier to grab and a little more positive. Okay, so price and value. Well, it's a $300 guitar, and I'll tell you, it does sound amazing. We're going to do sound tests on all 3 of these guitars. You're not going to get them today because we got to do a fair comparison between them all at the same time. That way, you're getting apples for apples for apples. We're getting the same volumes. We're getting the same outputs. We're getting what we need to show you. A lot of cool stuff going on with this guitar. Now, I got the pickup output values for this, too. We're going to talk about that really quick. The bridge output is 12.23, and the middle position is 5.37, and the neck is also 12.23. So, very similar. Now, the tone of this guitar, I'm going to tell you, is the closest to an actual Gibson SG that I've ever heard. As a matter of fact, my Gibson SG Standard, this sounds better, which is really crazy. And we're going to take this apart here in a second, too. So bear with me. We're going to look at this for the first time. I wanted you here to do this. Now, is it close? So price to value, at that price, $300, shipped with a flawless finish, even though it wasn't as custom as it should have been. Yeah, it's a good price to value. We're going to give it a 4-star on that one. Would have got 5 if it was what I exactly wanted, but we'll have to dock them a star on that. So we'll say 4 stars. And we'll talk about this. No one, the single ply pick guard, I wish it would have had that. No Angus on the back. I wish it would have had that. Didn't want the serial number on it. no ABR bridge, no fret nibs, and it's got the wrong screw hole placement. So there we go. That's how that is working out with this guitar. And we get the other ones, we're going to do the same thing, go through them and make sure, see how they average out. And so you have the numbers there. I'll put them on the screen for you here so you know. And when the next guitar comes, we'll do this exact same comparison. But you guys want to see what's exactly going on with this guitar. Now, I've already been inside of it. I know what it's got, but we're going to get inside of it again. Now, the weird thing about this guitar is the sound that this puts out is remarkable. It's a beautiful sounding guitar. You're going to have to trust me at the moment, or don't, whatever. But you'll find out in the end here that is an amazing sounding guitar. And I'm going to tell you, as far as pure tonal qualities of guitars go, this is going to be a hard one to beat, even though it has small potentiometers. That's right. Even though the potentiometers are small, everything is working good inside. There's no compound. It's been done right. What's really amazing is the switch that they used in here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's almost like a Switchcraft style switch. The routing is definitely nice. And it's done very well. It's wired very well. There's not really, see a lot of compound in here or anything like that. Just dust from the table here, really. So let's get that cleaned up. But they did a good job. I think that we could probably shield this if I wanted to upgrade the caps. I could if I want to upgrade the pots. I could. Switch is actually a decent switch. This guitar does sound good. Yeah, of course, we like to open them up and see those big pots. But believe it or not, these little pots taper in and out really nice. It's kind of surprising. So I don't know what exactly is going on there. In the truss rod, it's what they do in all these guitars. It's nothing special, but it isn't bad. I'm going to show you the headstock here, the binding. We have the logos covered, and they might not be what you think, guys, okay? So don't assume on this one. On any of them, don't assume. But here's our binding. Really, really nice. If you're seeing anything on it, it's probably just dust. It's a really nice done binding. It's got a nice proper rake to the headstock. And of course, what they do is, it's not like a Gibson because the binding comes up under the nut. This is a bone nut that is on here also, so that is really cool. The inlay work on this is extraordinary with little to no fill visible. They are all straight blocks. They look good. The frets are extremely well done, medium jumbos. The grain of the fretboard is phenomenal. It looks really good. But let's pull off these strings, and let's pull the pickup out and see exactly what's going on in there. I think you guys all want to know. So let me do this. That's why you come here, right? To see exactly what's going on with these guitars. Okay, so what I've done here is loosen the strings up a little bit, and I'm telling the public because I'm keeping these strings on, guys, because to be fair, we're going to test this with the factory strings. So here is our tailpiece. No markings on the back, but beautifully plated. So we're going to hold that to the side right here. We're going to pull off our bridge. And okay, let's pull these out here, providing that this fits. If you're doing to pull these studs out, you just put a bolt down in here. It'll hit the back of the guitar. Now, some guitars are really thin, so you want to be careful. This one's not all that easy. Some of these guitars you just want to be careful with because, well, if they're in really hard, you risk busting through. But that's how easy that comes out with a bolt. Then we can pull this pick guard off really, really quick. So these are beveled. At least they beveled the pick guard so they sit in properly. And you'll feel a little tension. Keep screwing it and pull it out. And I've had some that are in so tight and guitars that were thin, and the bolt would actually crack to the back of the guitar. So if you ever see me pulling something out with a pair of vice grips, you'll know that the guitar is too thin for me to do it this way. Okay, let's pull this off and see what we got. All right, so we don't have a fishbowl cut out here, so that's good. And I'm going to look at something here. There might be some indications to what was going on with this guitar. I look closely here. Get you guys in the light here. Okay, so yeah, big. Okay, so what they have done to accommodate this pick guard, I believe they've rerouted this for me to put this pick guard on. It looks like the cavities are bigger than normal. Yeah, so this has been routed out, and it's actually routed out by hand. I can see it because it's not even. So that's what they did to fit this. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that's what they did. So there we go. Here is our, let's see if we can get this over here. Let's see the pickups. Pickups don't say anything special on them or anything like that, but they do sound really, really good. So, and now we know what it is like inside. Definitely mahogany body. Man, it looks as if it is a two-piece mahogany body is what is on this. So, okay. That's what a Gibson SG is. It's a two-piece mahogany body. All right, let's get this back in here. And make sure our wires are down. It's not the original routing. They obviously routed this out to accommodate this pick guard. So definitely, they definitely did that. I have a feeling that this guitar was originally intended for a pick guard that went over here, and they ended up putting this one on, and it had a different pickup spacing, because this is more of an authentic Gibson style spacing. As a matter of fact, it's identical. I have one over here. It's identical spacing for here. It's just just as a different cut pick guard itself. But that being said, still, it's done properly. We are. There we are. And everything's delicate. Everything's good. I'm going to give that one a little tap down too. It didn't look like it was seated all the way. So there we go. Okay, so here we are, guys. Pretty cool, right? It doesn't suck. Let's put it that way. It doesn't suck. So final thoughts. Well, I think it's a really nice guitar. It's a $300 guitar. If I saw this guitar and I played this guitar, I would pay more for it because of simply how well it's set up and how well it's been done. It looks great. Now, when you dive inside of it and under the pick guard, you'll see some corners have been cut, such as, the routing was obviously done by hand to accommodate this pick guard. Although, when the pick guard's on, you're not going to see it. And it's really not that bad. So I may be nitpicking. Like I said, action of the guitar, outstanding. I do got to set it up to its original setup now because we did pull the studs out. But nonetheless, a great looking guitar. I think we can all agree on that. And once you guys hear this guitar, you're going to understand why it's so cool. Now, can the other builders compete with this guitar? Well, that's what we're going to find out very, very shortly, hopefully. Hopefully another one is on its way soon, and we'll tear into that one too and give you guys the results and my honest opinions. But for right now, I'm going to have to leave you with this and something to ponder and think about. Make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe on the way out. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can really see what's out there for top quality Chinese builders, custom builders. And you guys are going to want to see what's underneath the tape on these headstocks. You're going to want to see that because I think a lot of these are going to be very interesting, to say the least. All right, guys, thanks for watching.